Hey, this is Kelly Betz, looking back on my most iconic albums. I eat trash.
I eat buzz, free cards, sea stars, and recharge. Smoke pot, I choke, house, blow rocks and coke spots. Snort stuff, I'm more rough, of course, just record us.
It's just funny because I called it I Eat Trash because I would occasionally dumpster dive, and then like 6 months after the album's out, I literally am just living off of dumpsters and nothing else. And I really am like in that life. I thought I was just being cool and talking about drugs and just like saying that, you know, playing that crazy white boy angle and playing like a nerdy but dirty character that I think I was a lot more than I wanted to admit. I'd always gotten a big reaction when the rap crowds saw that part of me. I remember being at like Mad Real Mondays in 05, 06, you know, this hip hop night, and everybody was playing this word game that was like, I drop weight like. And so, you know, you'd come in and you'd be like, I drop weight like Al Roca. And somebody else would be like, I drop weight like Oprah. And I'm like one of two white guys in this cypher trying to make a name for myself. And I hopped in and I was like, I drop weight in the worst way, like my mom's on my fucking first birthday. You know, crazy white boy. And everybody's like, oh, snap. And I remember that distinctly being the first time people were like, who is this kid? That evolved and just went further and further, and I've always been a sucker for attention, so like I was playing the role. I got a love-hate thing with that album and that era, that whole persona. It's not dead. When I battled Drop in St. Louis, I did it as Dr. Ujeezy, and you can tell I'm just like,
who's you?
Dr. Ujeezy! Slapping him will have him switch dimensions. Animal with the hands on Jim Henson. Watch him fold it to infinity like a Mobius strip. Yeah. Alone on Skid Row, I've been homeless as shit. So even if you open my chin, I'll just hold you real close like you don't know where I've been, Drop. You don't know where I've been.
There's still that part of me that, excuse me, just doesn't give a fuck. But it's an ugly part. And I think that whole not giving a fuck, that whole like, well, I don't even fucking care. I think that whole like, man, see how much I don't give a shit. I think that's really true worry. It comes out as that, man, I don't give a fuck. And it's like, well, why are you yelling it? If you don't care, why are you yelling about how you don't care? You know, like, yeah. I think that's true anxiety-ridden worry taking over your spirit, honestly. When I look back at Dr. Ujeezy, that's what I see now. I see somebody so worried about the future, so worried about knowing that I'll have to get sober, and just worried that I'm doing the wrong thing. So you put that stamp on it and you say, I do the wrong things. That's who I am.
It's satanic shit. I'm what happens when they play K-Fed backwards, cause I was fed K by a basshead rapper. I ain't made sense after. I went to a squat pad, huff gas with the traveling kid, traded in some dust from my bus pass. In the dark, put my ass in the park, lay down for the night, blacked out, woke up riding to school, and now I'm like, shouting, I like drugs.
Lost Wusic.
My favorite rappers all have drug-induced psychosis. Had to see it from myself, I mixed 100 proof with doses. Went from punk-infused abode to cuddled in the cold under avenues and homeless. But now, older women want to rediscover youth with me, or relive it as we discuss the music scene.
I called DJ Pompey and said, we're gonna make an album and we're not gonna show it to anybody. We're gonna make a secret album and it's going to be our lost album. Pompey kind of talked me a little bit into reality and said, we'll put it out on a CD, and that's how people will hear it. And then he ended up making beats that sounded like the Wu-Tang. And I wanted to get more collaborators than the Wu-Tang, so I got 20 features from all my friends. The whole secret album thing, it was not my first time doing that. I had put out an EP called Spirit Animal, and I didn't promote it at all. It was like my third album of that year, and I just put it online and didn't say anything else.
Demons in my head. Lot of demons in my head, like yeah. Yeah.
Pompey's influence was, he was like, do that, but tell people about it. Like, have a secret album, but let people in on the secret. It's impossible to find. You gotta order it from my Bandcamp.
What was the one you did right after that?
Oh god, I put out like 5 albums that year. After that was like the Rob Zombie one, Body Snatchers.
Toast to glass.
music you can't listen to because it doesn't exist, and that was like, you know, my Sgt. Pepper's with every different genre.
We sleep in the beds we made. We dig our own grave.
What else was that year? Don't Die, I Love You was like a rock opera.
Morphine kiss as warm as heaven promise.
Usually when people can't remember, it's because they're wasted the whole time.
Yeah.
For you, it's the opposite.
Yeah. I'm doing too much. It's a coping mechanism. Staying busy making music is a coping mechanism. And honestly, I went a whole calendar year without putting out an album, and it's the first time I've done that since I got sober. I was putting out 4 or 5 a year. At a certain point, I just looked around and I was like, all I'm doing to manage this shit, besides being a social worker, is I wake up and I make music, and I go to work and I come home and I make music. And I love that I've created this epitaph, this like, you know, message in a bottle that is 20 albums. People can listen to it, they cannot, but I've made some good songs. As of a year ago when I decided to stop, I published 100 songs. Good job, good for me. 100 is probably enough. So I took a year off, and I decided when I came back it really had to count. Kelly Betz and his imaginary friends. I knew I wanted to like find an angle and restrict myself, because while I was happy with my previous music, I either had a theme or it was all over the place, like just genre jumping. Originally, I came up with the idea to do a kids album about homelessness. So I think what came across is the same like spiritual family as that idea, which is to say that they're accessible songs that are about really hard to talk about subjects.
Too much air, not enough rope. Now I hold my brain, but my heart is broke. Can't get out from in front of this dope. I can't get out from in front of this.
It honestly was really cathartic writing them. One of these songs, I cried while I wrote it. Like, I'd heard of people doing that, but I thought they were always exaggerating, and I just hit something on the nose, and I was like, damn, I'm talking to myself. I basically try not to think of anything new. I never sit down and think, all right, let me think of something clever. I only ask myself, what have I already been thinking? Or how can I take what I've been thinking and make it poetic?
Paranoia pays off. When paranoia pays off.
When something hurts, I put it down. And then I count syllables, and I go, okay, this thing hurt me, but it's only 6 syllables. How do I find 2 more syllables of hurt?
Welcome to my shit show, Flea Circus. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtains. Watch me painting red flags, deep white, Freudian slipping and sliding.
Do you have any ideas for the next album or future?
I haven't thought at all about what the next album might be. I'm not secretly working on another one, and that is a brand new concept. Who knows? My last album. Yeah, I'm calling it. This is my last album. Hope you enjoy it. That's it. No more music from me. You got 21. Why aren't you satisfied? Get the fuck out of my face. What more can I give you people? Just take it easy.